spaces from time to time. I was invited to go into a space. Everybody in this space is MAGA, Trump. In fact, there were a few insurrectionists that were in this space as well. And the topic was talking about January 6th. And I got into this space, hopefully trying to share some facts with these idiots. And I want to play you some audio from this space. And I get into it with an insurrectionist as well. But it started with me, the microphone open, talking about the pardons that Donald Trump had implemented. Have a listen to this.
That's understandable. I can reason with people when it comes to that. But if you beat police officers, I would love to hear from anybody that thinks that if you beat a cop with their own baton, that you should be pardoned.
Pushing the limits. Where you at, J6?
Was I there on January 6th? Absolutely
Correct.
not. No.
Okay,
no.
so what footage did you see where you saw people? Ella Body, mute your mic up. Thank you. I'm not going to you next. So were you there with? So what video did you see where you saw people?
Sure.
Beating people up?
Sure. The video I saw, and there were multiple videos that I saw, were police officers were being pushed in corners. One officer that took another officer's baton and was kicking him and beating him with a baton. Brian Sitnick was sprayed with bear spray. I saw other videos on the other side in the Capitol where some officers were being kicked and beaten. There were a few officers, Harry, I forgot his last name, and another officer that had a heart attack. And Fanone, I think his name was. I saw videos of him.
Okay,
footage.
Fanone did not have a heart attack. He's Nancy Pelosi.
Hold on, Adam. I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question for a second. You put your hand back up. I'll come to you. Okay, so who released this footage? Was it on ABC, MSNBC? Was it on YouTube? Who had this footage?
My question to you is, what does it matter who had it? Are you saying it was doctored?
I want to know. Yeah, it was doctored. Nancy Pelosi is on
Doctored,
audio,
yeah.
Sure.
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 So
yes,
I will. It like a Hollywood film. So
okay. So sure.
I'm asking you, was it raw footage? Was it edited?
So I will. First of all, I would say that this was raw footage, and there were multiple body camera videos that were released in court. Some of those people that were prosecuted, some, not all, but some of those people that are still behind bars right now, that video was used in courtrooms when they had the opportunity to defend themselves. So I'm not sure. Are you saying that you don't believe any police officers were physically injured or beaten that day? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that there was a huge setup, that both sides were infiltrated, and these people were incited. Okay. They were entrapped, and I do believe that 100%.
Okay, so regardless of whether you think, let's agree to disagree on that, regardless of whether you think it was a setup or not, are you saying that some of those individuals did not no police officers were beaten that day? Is that your opinion?
I couldn't answer that. I wasn't there at J6.
You couldn't. I don't think you.
I wasn't there at J6.
I wasn't there.
I know people that were there.
I wasn't there.
I know that people weren't there, and there was entrapment. And I'm bringing Alpha up. I'm gonna let Alpha rebut this because he's gonna know more about this. I wasn't there.
Okay, so this lunatic that I'm getting into it with, number one, wearing the tinfoil hat, is worried about what source you got the video from, and then she's saying it was a Hollywood movie. No, you imbecile. This was not a movie. This was real life. Over 140 officers were injured. People died. And there's actual video. Whether a video is edited or not, if you're showing somebody beating a police officer, what's the argument? This is a fairy tale, and it's very difficult to have conversations with people like this who have no basis in reality and think if you got a video from CBS or CNN that it was altered and it's fake. These people are very low IQ people, as Donald Trump would say, many of his supporters. And it's very difficult to get into a conversation with them. Now, this is the point where I start to get into it with an insurrectionist who I guess was pardoned. I don't know the whole story. And he starts going after the FBI. Have a listen to this.
For anybody to give the FBI any credibility right now, I think that's more of a testament to your character than the character of the J6ers.
Well, my character is that I don't think you should physically ever assault police officers or chant "Hang Mike Pence" and storm the Capitol. My character tells me that I don't believe in the big lie that the 2020
Let me
election was. Can
let
I
me
just
ask you
finish?
this.
Can I just finish now? Can I just finish? I've been speaking for 8
Well,
seconds.
let's
Can I finish?
well, let's
Can
just
I have
have a
30? Can I?
let's address something you said real
Can
quick.
I finish?
Don't get triggered. Like, listen, don't get triggered. I
I'm
want
not
to ask you
triggered,
something.
but you just went on
But
for 5 minutes, and I've
but
been talking for 5 seconds.
you're making an allegation that these J6ers attack cops. Are you a father?
I didn't say all the January Sixers attacked cops, but you just said 98% of them didn't
I
do
said
anything wrong.
99.
Okay, so you're
99%.
saying that 99% of them did nothing wrong. Now, I find that to be completely absurd, and I don't think that's based in reality at all. There are no question that
Okay.
some of them.
On what factual basis?
You're asking me on what factual basis, and you're the one making the claim.
I'm asking you.
And you're the one making the claim with no evidence. Here's my factual.
What evidence do you have?
I'm giving you my evidence.
No evidence.
I'm giving you the evidence.
What evidence?
The
Stop
evidence.
What evidence do you have?
I'm answering it. I'm answering it. The evidence that was presented, because every single one of these people had the right to defend themselves. Now, if you want to take the approach of the government was lying and they didn't have a chance for fair representation, and 99% of them didn't really do anything wrong, and the videos were edited, if you want to wear a tinfoil hat, that's your business, okay?
And most of them are wearing tinfoil hats. Let's be very clear on that. So the guy that I'm getting into it with claims that he's a fact-based person. So you know what I do with these morons, right? When they say that they're fact-based, and they can't even admit that any officers were injured that day. Obviously, they're all a bunch of morons. But when you talk to a MAGA and they claim that they're fact-based, here's how I handle that situation.
Speak to 100 J6ers and they will give you factual evidence of where they were held,
So you're a man of facts. Let me just quickly respond to what you said, and then I'll shut up. You claim to be a man of facts, right? You're an evidence-based facts guy. Is that a fair analogy? Because there's a reason why I'm asking. Which Alpha?
That is a fair analogy.
Gotcha. Okay, who won the 2020 election?
President Biden was announced the winner.
I didn't ask you who the winner was. I asked you who won a free and fair election. That's the question, not who won.
I'm glad you asked it that way. Nobody wanted free and fair election.
Okay, well, then you're not a fact-based person, because that was never proven.
First of all, do you notice the 2 or 3 second delay when he says he's fact-based? I said, who won a free and fair election in 2020? And he doesn't know what to say. So he says, well, Biden won, but really neither candidate won. I mean, complete imbeciles, right? Complete idiots. And now he goes on about how he believes the election was stolen. I mean, it's so easy to pick apart these tinfoil hat MAGA deplorables.
Back in 2016, Donald Trump said the election was going to be rigged, it was going to be stolen, Hillary Clinton was going to cheat, and the Democrats were going to cheat. Then something happened. Donald Trump won a free and fair election. And for the next 3 years, all those comments about election integrity and how it's rigged, it's only rigged when he loses. When he wins, everything's quite all right and okay.
Denier?
So why is it that when he won, I'm asking Alpha a question. I'm asking Alpha a question. Why is it hold on, listen to my question. Why is it in 2016, he said it was going to be rigged, and then something happened and he won, and I guess everything went okay. And then when he lost in 2020, it was rigged, and now in 2024, it must have been a fair election. Why is it when he loses, it's rigged, and when he wins, everything's okay?
I'm here to answer that question. If you'd be watching my show, you would know that I've said these elections have been compromised from the beginning.
No, thanks. Not going to watch this idiot show.
It was not a free and fair election. What happened was the numbers were in place that they couldn't keep up with the rig. That too many people were aware of what happened in 2020, and they were watching, which made it not. But and you heard Trump say it himself. They still tried to steal it. So we don't have free and fair elections yet. Hence the reason we need to get rid of these
it must be true.
machines.
It must be true if he says it, right, Alpha? It must be true.
Because there's actually people that have investigated this. You should get the right people on your radio show so you could actually get educated.
I got the right guy on now.
I need to be educated. So who are the right people? Who are the right people?
I'll tell you right now.
Our FBI, CIA, and all the secretaries of state, they're all wrong.
I'll ask you a question. You ask the question, I'll answer. There's a woman, but her hand on here is Ash in America.
Who?
Colorado came after her trying to say that she was lying. She was one of the people that were
Laura Loomer.
A civilian audit, and they tried to sue her. She won this case against Colorado. She has done phenomenal investigation. Here's
I bet.
another account that
I
you can
bet.
follow on here. CanCon. He's literally been to a bunch of these court cases, listen to the trials, listen to people that were involved. You talk to Ash, you talk to CanCon. Brian Lupo, he's an author, he's one of the
How about
editors.
Tina Peters? Should we listen
Right.
to her? Oh wait, she's in jail. I forgot.
You absolutely should listen to her, because if you
Yeah,
were
she's very
aware,
credible. Very credible.
if you were watching her case, you would
She
see
did
that
my
there was
show
witnesses.
multiple times. Tina Peters went on my show multiple times. She is a convicted felon and a liar who claims she had Hunter Biden's laptop before it even went public, and she claims she had his hard drive. Tina Peters has zero credibility. She's a moron, and the fact that you would give somebody like that any level of credibility speaks volumes
So let
as
me
to
ask you this.
who you are.
This guy just gave Tina Peters credibility when it comes to the election. Someone who messed with the voting machines, who's in jail right now. Trump will probably give her a pardon. That would not surprise me any. That's where they get their source of information. People like Dinesh D'Souza, 2,000 Mules, and this complete idiot, Tina Peters, who's done this show before. Now, this is where the conversation gets really, really even more weird, okay? And, I'm destroying these imbeciles. But what gets even more weird is now this guy brings up the diary where, it's alleged that Joe Biden showered with his daughter. Have a listen to this.
You don't understand how our court systems work. In order for something to be confirmed, it has to be proven in a court of law with somebody under oath in a deposition. You have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, one, I'm telling you, 14 years of doing it. What I've learned in 14 years of doing it is absolutely the way to do it. But
You haven't learned much based on this conversation. So let me ask you a question.
And
The 25 women.
You were trying to say that the FBI, who's routinely violated people's constitutional rights, are the arbitrators of what is right. So since we're operating out the scope of what normal law enforcement does, because in any other case, we probably have a different argument. But since we're talking about the arbitrators of how they handled this, which is the same FBI in both these cases, that's what changes the opinion.
So you're
talking about a corrupt federal agency who has violated the rights of people, and you don't want to acknowledge that, and it shows.
It violated the rights of people. So first of all, you said 99%. Now, if anybody's rights were violated, and that could be proven in a court of law, then I am all for it and holding the FBI to account. The problem I have is you make gross assumptions about things like Joe Biden's daughter's diary. So let me ask you a question then. You're just making the assumption that Joe Biden, based on an unverified diary, did some inappropriate things with his daughter. Would you say
it is verified? I'm not going to get you. It's a verified diary.
Okay, no, it's not been proven in a court.
According to his own daughter's words, inappropriate showers with her father. These are her words, not mine.
She said borderline inappropriate. You're also mischaracterizing what allegedly she said. She said.
She actually said, I'm not sure if this was inappropriate or not. She had mixed feelings because she knew that something bad had happened, but was it rape? Was it molestation? She was trying to figure those things out. So let's not mischaracterize what she wrote down.
Okay.
If you'd like, I'll read it word for word for you.
So Alpha, I want to ask you something. So you seem to go after one side of the aisle. I like to hold both sides to account. So I want to ask you a question. The 25 women that have accused Donald Trump of rape or sexual assault, including his ex-wife in a court deposition under oath, who said that he raped her, the fact that he was found liable for sexual abuse in a court of law, are all those women lying? Are all those women lying?
Name me the case where he's been convicted or where there was evidence that he did sexual assault.
I didn't. First of all, he was found liable for sexual abuse. The question,
and you and I both know that,
was Joe Biden convicted of child molestation? Was Joe Biden convicted? You can't have it both ways, my friend.
Well, the FBI didn't want to investigate.
I didn't ask you whether the FBI didn't want to investigate. I asked you, was he convicted? So you see, when it comes to Donald Trump,
here's the difference.
What a hypocrite you are.
I got him there. So when it comes to Joe Biden and an alleged diary that has never been confirmed that she said that Joe Biden molested her, his daughter, but they assume that Joe Biden did without any conviction, without any charges filed. But yet when it comes to Donald Trump and all the women that have come forward that have said Donald Trump sexually abused or raped them, is there a conviction? Of course, they can't have it both ways. Joe Biden molests kids and there's no court cases there. But when you bring up Donald Trump, what was he convicted of? This guy's the biggest moron hypocrite in the world. But this is what I enjoy to do from time to time. I like to take over these MAGA spaces. And by the way, this was like a 45-minute conversation. They allowed me, there were thousands of people in this space, probably 100 people that had their hands up that wanted to talk, and they were forced to listen to this, which I enjoy. And the host I'll give this person credit, allowed me to keep going because I think it was somewhat entertaining. So I'll give this host credit for that. But there was a point when I just kept destroying this complete imbecile. And eventually they just couldn't take it anymore. And they said, oh, man, you're just taking over this space. It's really funny. Have a listen.
Voted for Trump. So if you guys go from space to space over the next few weeks, just recognize that these are people that are just desperate because the foundation for their belief system just got crushed and the exposure is happening and they just can't deal with it. Trump won. J6ers are free. These are the best executive orders we've seen in decades. And enjoy the ride, you guys, because we've earned it fighting for this country.
Okay, can I respond now? Thank you for those amazing comments. I wanted to respond to Rodden. I'm sorry, I'm
Little sarcasm there.
mispronouncing your name. You said a lot of things there. I just want to quickly just touch on every one of them if I can remember. You said, why did millions of votes come in later when Trump was winning in 2020? Because we had something during a global pandemic called mail-in balloting, which Donald Trump told you guys not to do. And then in 2024, all the votes were not counted yet. That's why, to answer that question. Number two, you keep saying that I'm focused on the wrong things. No, I'm focused on the right things moving forward here. We're talking about January 6th. I started this conversation talking about how I have no problem with pardons for people that were nonviolent. I also said, and I think a pretty fair statement, it doesn't matter whether it's a Black Lives Matter protest or January 6th. If there's sufficient evidence and you're convicted of assaulting police officers and committing violent crimes, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, I don't care. I don't want people to be pardoned. I don't like Joe Biden's pardons. I didn't like the pardon of his son. I didn't like the pardons that he did hours before he left office. I also don't like all the pardons of the January 6ers. I am concerned. I'm concerned about our future. I'm concerned of the fact that when we talk about health care, he only has a replacement plan for health care. He doesn't have an actual plan, because I want everyone to have affordable health care. I don't care whether you're a MAGA supporter or not. I want everybody to be treated as equals, regardless of what political party you are in. I think most of my positions are very fair. And if people can prove in a court of law that somebody committed a crime and they have the opportunity to defend themselves and they're convicted, then I want them held to the highest extent.
I'm muting. You go on and on and on and on, and you have taken over this space. If you look at the title of this space, it says Trump Celebration Party.
Yeah, I have taken over the space with facts, you buffoons. They couldn't take it anymore.
You have taken over this space.
Yes, I have. That's the one thing they said in this space that I agree with.
You have taken over this space.
The one thing they said in this entire space, I agree with. I have taken over the space with facts, and they didn't know what to do. I make good point after good point after good point. I present facts and the tinfoil hat morons, but I'm going to give you my favorite point in the space. And this will be the last clip that I play. This is my favorite point. This guy's name is like Alpha. He's this muscular dude who wants to show the world his big muscles and what a man he is, right? So this was my favorite part of the space where, for whatever reason, he brings up a man is a man and a woman is a woman, you know, Mr. Alpha. So I had to get one more cheap shot, and this was my favorite part.
Alpha, I think you're a woman.
Well, I'll be in Vegas in March.
And it's been fun destroying. It's been fun destroying all you tinfoil MAGA morons.
I will be in Vegas
So,
in
Miss
March.
Starley, I got some good news.
Hold on real quick, Bill.
He's
Hold on real quick.
He's so angry.
I dropped him down.
Sure.
Well, he can still hear me.
Bulldozer.
He can still hear me.
Alpha speak.
He will still hear me. I will be in Vegas in March. You could look up the GART Conference 7.
Yeah, I definitely will look that
Show
up.
Say that in my face, and we'll see how it turns out. And in case you're wondering, people say that and they won't show up. Somebody already made that challenge. I give them credit. They had the balls to show up, and things obviously didn't turn out the way they were hoping. So if you want to stay off with a woman, I will be in Vegas in March. You can even live stream it on your feed.
You have taken over this space.
That guy got so upset. And the reason why I called him a woman, all due respect to women, is because he started talking about gender ideology. Like anybody cares what his opinions are on that. I knew that if I called him a woman, he would get upset. He was so upset at that statement that he thinks I'm going to go out of my way to show up to his stupid event in Las Vegas. By the way, I invited him to come in studio on this show. He has since not responded to me. I have invited him to sit 2 feet away from me. I'm not going to go to his stupid event and go out of my way to meet this MAGA buffoon. They call themselves alpha males, right? And their leader is a guy who wears 8 layers of orange makeup. who treats women like garbage, who's never been in a physical altercation in their life. And he calls himself Alpha. They think that January 6th, no officers were injured. They actually think that it was a Hollywood film. And you have all these people that even admitted to the FBI. Some of them admitted to the FBI that they assaulted police officers. There's video everywhere. And these people have no sense of reality. But it is fun at times to go into some of these spaces and destroy their idiocy.